Hello, hello, hello. It's Heather McKay here. I just want to share with you some different software you can use for email newsletters and give you the pros and cons of each one. It's really, really important to have an email newsletter because Facebook is something you don't own. You want to make sure that you're not only marketing through someone else's platform. With an email list, it's something you own. You actually can connect with your clients individually. You can collect email addresses from them. And you can message them directly. So it's something that gains value over time as well. So that's what I'm going to go over today. I'm going to go over some popular softwares out there and how you use them. But again, my name is Heather McKay and welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd say hit that bell icon and that way YouTube will just let you know when I have a new video. Let's just dive right in. So I'm going to go over Flodesk versus ConvertKit, but I'm also going to talk about MailChimp, MadMimi, a couple other ones as well. So the main thing about these email newsletters, like I said, it's very easy to think, oh, I'll just market on Instagram, I'll just market on Facebook. But the problem is every time they change that algorithm, you're out in the lurch. So it's like I have all these videos I've built up. I've been using Facebook since the beginning in 2007, and no one sees my posts. I mean, here's a great video. I uploaded it straight to Facebook. I didn't even put it on YouTube first, and only 119 people out of over 1,200 people that like my page even saw it. It's so frustrating. You can't even share it anymore to your personal page. You can't tag customers anymore. So this is the thing. Every time you do anything with these platforms, you just don't own it, and it's like building your business on quicksand. So it's much better, and the number one thing that I regret out of all my almost 2 decades of running a business is I really regret not utilizing the email newsletter that I already had. I was using MadMimi for a really long time, and and I have almost 2,000 people that, actually I think I'm over 2,000 now, people that subscribe to my email newsletter. Yeah, over 2,000 people. So just imagine the power of that. I can directly email people my emails and drum up business. I can have a sale. I can tell them what's up. And I'll just be honest, the reason I didn't do it is I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to be salesy. And then I would go a year where I had a lot going on and I would spam them, or not spam them, but I would email people like 6 or 7 times or put 20 things in an email newsletter because I wasn't sending them. But here's how simple it is you can honestly just, I'm just going to bring this one up. I'll just show you, that was my block. I didn't want to send newsletters out because I didn't know what to say. But at the same time, like I said, I would also send them out when I had too much to say. Now I realize one email newsletter for one reason, and that's it. So this email is just telling them that I got featured on somebody's podcast. Simple, very easy for them to see whether they want to read it or not. Very quick scan of what this is about. A little bit about me, and I even typed in the show notes so that they know what I was talking about. And then you can have them Instagram and a little about you, different things like that. So this is one of the many reasons to use an email newsletter. The other thing you can do with email newsletters or these software, the reason I'm talking about Flodesk today versus ConvertKit, is you can do landing pages. So this is really powerful when you're running your business in the beginning. Because what happens is, I'll just show you one, we'll take a look at one of them. I don't use these that much, so we'll see what's there. So this one's just a form that goes on my website. So think about last time you jumped on somebody's website and it just said, hey, join my newsletter. And you're supposed to put in your email address. Well, why would you join their newsletter? You don't know what you're going to get in the newsletter. There's nothing enticing. So this day and age, what you want to have instead of, hey, join my newsletter, is you want to give them something. So this is something that they can get if they give me their email address. So my top secret tips as a photographer for awesome wedding photos. So a new bride or groom that comes to my website can go and see this and be like, oh, that's kind of cool. You can make it all kinds of different things. You can say, if you're a portrait photographer, you can make a download for them to get a style guide for planning for what to wear. You can a wedding planning timeline checklist, anything you can imagine that they're needing before they even hire you, and this builds rapport. So what happens is they fill this out with your name and email address, and then you would set up an automated sequence welcoming them, thanking them for giving you the email address, delivering this freebie. It's called a freebie or an opt-in. And then you'd follow it up with a series of like 5 or 6 emails, every couple days or every day, whatever you want to do. And you would just like build rapport. You just tell them, hey, I'm so and so. This is the kind of work I do. Next up, then you tell them something else, and then you tell them something else, and you offer them like some more value. Like, hey, if you liked that top 5 secret tips for awesome wedding pics, you might also like this video I made on the best wedding timeline, and then link to that. So you're building rapport, and that's the whole point. Then when they become customers, you can actually use them for your actual newsletter. So I have in my audience here, I have all kinds of people that are getting these newsletters. I'm primarily a wedding photographer, as you probably know. So the people on this are bridesmaids, groomsmen, anybody that's looked at a wedding gallery from a wedding I automatically add them to my newsletter. So it's moms of brides, it's grandparents of brides, it's portrait clients, it's commercial clients. I also have photographers that are following me that I have your email address for my YouTube channel and things like that. All of this is what they all get these. We'll go over, really quickly, we'll go over the difference between Flodesk and ConvertKit, and I'll just do a quick review. So when you log into each one of these, you have a lot of different options. What I like about ConvertKit is it's easier to find your statistics, and if you're going to run a very complicated process of landing pages, opt-in forms, sequences, and that sort of stuff, ConvertKit's a much more robust system. So if you're really going to get into email marketing, then ConvertKit is really a great system. In that way, it's also can be complicated. It can be hard to figure out where to go for certain things, what to do, but it's really easy to segment out people who purchase things, that sort of stuff. Whereas Flodesk is more for the beginner, and you can use this as an advanced person as well because it also has workflows, but it's just easier because it's plug and play. So let me show you what I mean. So with Flodesk here, and I have referral codes for both of these, I'll link them to at the bottom. This is what's great about Flodesk. So let's say you're already using like a Squarespace website. When this Flodesk emails look very similar to most Squarespace websites. And it's got all this like motion, movement, stuff like that that's eye-grabbing. So when you get one of these emails in your in-basket, it's so simple, it's so easy, it's so pretty. It comes with all this really cool customizable stuff. Whereas when you go into ConvertKit, for example, my broadcasts, that's what an email newsletter is. Let me just show you what this looks like. I'll show you it's not quite the same. It's more of just a text message. So yes, you can drop in video and you can drop in some photos, but it's a little clunkier. It's not quite the same. You just don't see it in the same fashion, but what it does do is give you a lot of metrics that are great. You can see who opened it, you can see who clicked on it, you can see what they clicked on. Both of them will do that for you. But what I'm saying again is Flodesk has these templates that are really pretty. You can do all these different blocks. It just walks you through the whole process of how to set this up, and it gives you ideas. So if you're a person that doesn't have your own ideas, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but sometimes we all just go through moments where we have like, brain farts, or we didn't have enough coffee, or you're just like stuck. This is great because it gives you totally gives you these content ideas. Like, this is so great. And you just change it all. You just change it, customize it, change the colors, and make it simple, make it pretty. Whereas ConvertKit is more of a blank page. The other thing about ConvertKit is sequences in ConvertKit is very similar to workflows in Flodesk. But you basically would take a form that you have on your website. So for example, I have my free flight guide on my website. And that's something that they can download when they give me their email address, and then here it is. So it's really easy to just sit here in one spot and say like, here you go, yada yada yada. Here's that download that I promised you, and here's me. And then you say when to do it, and you can filter who gets it. There's all kinds of different stuff you can do. And then here's the next email, and you can tell them how often to send it. So it's actually really, really easy to just sit here and bang out an entire workflow or email sequence when somebody opts into your email newsletter. But it's not as pretty. It's much more like of a text file, whereas with Flodesk, you can do all these really pretty templates. and blocks and things like that. And you can customize everything. What's great is it also just kind of tells you what it's for. So you can even just say like, well, do I want to make money? Well, let's look on these templates and see if I can do a flash sale for the holidays, for example. So that's the main difference that I feel like with Flodesk. It's really great for those of us that are visual people, and it's nice to not start from a blank slate. But if you already know what you're doing and you already know exactly what you want to say, and you're a really good writer, then ConvertKit's better for you. And then also ConvertKit is great for getting complicated. So if you're going to get really nerdy about segmenting out different people and you want an if this then that situation, then you can use ConvertKit. ConvertKit's a little better for that. So for example, I'll just show you this one. So this is like, you can have 3 different opt-ins on your website. You can have different options to get their email address. And then once you have that, you can add a tag. And then you can say, did they do this step or did they have that step? Blah, blah, blah. Like if you're going to give a webinar, you can say, did they attend the webinar or not? And then if they don't, you can re-engage with them. So it makes it really, really easy to do complicated things. Like, did they buy my product or not? Did they attend the webinar? Did I work with them? Did I meet with them in person? So if you're a wedding photographer watching this, you can set up an automation so that if they met with you, it automatically gets follow-up emails saying, hey, thanks, I liked meeting you. Great to see you. Let me know if you have any questions. Here's a video about my wedding albums. So you can set that up as a template and set it up so it's automated and you don't have to remember to send it to them. So I do love that about ConvertKit. You can do a lot of that in Flodesk as well, but it's just not quite as easy to find or to visualize what's happening. But they're called workflows under Flodesk. So they're very similar situations. They're just a little different. So it's, here you go, add a trigger of like, you know, hey, did I meet with them? You know, so you can just, there's all kinds of different stuff you can do. Maybe add them to a segment, you know, and then you just customize all of these, say when they, how long do you want these delayed between emails. So either way, definitely get an email newsletter system, and then you also want to make sure that you pick the right one for you. So again, if you're using Squarespace as your website, I highly recommend Flodesk. Flodesk is also cheaper, so if you use my link, you get a deal, you get 50% off. So it's only $19 a month, which is invaluable, especially if you are going to start using it. So the thing with the newsletters, again, I just want to reiterate, is that it's something you own. You always own this email newsletter. So even if you move it from one platform to the other, you still have those emails. Whereas if you're trying to market through Facebook or Instagram, it's very hard. You can't like direct message every single person. But with email, you can actually sit it in their in basket and you can build a rapport over time. So it's very valuable. So Mimi and MailChimp and all these other ones, they have a lot. All of these have free plans. So if you just want to get started, you can use them. But it gets back to, are you just going to use something because it's free and just get started, or are you actually going to use your email? If you're going to use your email newsletter, then you might as well start with something more robust like ConvertKit or Flodesk, something that can grow with you and with your business as it gets more complicated. Whereas MailChimp, MadMimi, and some of those other ones that are free, they're not as robust, or they're clunky and they're hard to customize or hard to make pretty, that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's just a consideration. So I recommend definitely ConvertKit or Flodesk. Those are the 2 that I recommend. One is just prettier than the other. But one thing I do really like about Flodesk that's a little harder to find in ConvertKit is when you're looking at the statistics, you can see what your open rate is and how many you're actually getting delivered. So deliverability and not going into spam is vital. And so I like that it actually shows me that most people are doing it, and that it also shows me whether it's on mobile or desktop. And that way I can do my emails appropriately for who's looking at them. Okay? So it's pretty cool. Either way, they all have stats. It's just a matter of like, do you want something like really, really robust that you can grow into? And then you can customize to your heart's content. And for me, also sitting down and writing these sequences in the way that it is in ConvertKit is a lot easier than trying to build all those pretty blocks in Flodesk with something that has like a lot of different emails. Like this one has 28 emails. And so the way I was doing this is like I call it like an evergreen newsletter. So it just keeps going and going and going. So every time I have a new blog post, then I usually just add it as an email blast, and that's it. So it just that way, if somebody missed a nice email that I sent out and they just joined my list, they get that one too. So everybody goes through the same flow, and every once in a while, I'll have a sales email in the middle of it. So yeah, so that's the difference between the two, and I hope this helps. Definitely leave me a comment if you want me to go more in depth and show you how to do technical stuff in this. Both of them have a YouTube channel which show you a lot of that stuff. That's why I just wanted to do more of an overview. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that now. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.